For some time Ozma had ruled over this fair country, and never was ruler more popular or beloved. She is said to be the most beautiful girl the world has ever known, and her heart and mind are as lovely as her person. Dorothy Gale had several times visited the Emerald City and experienced adventures in the land of Oz, so that she and Ozma had become firm friends. The girl ruler had even made Dorothy a princess of Oz and had often implored her to come to Ozma's stately palace and live there always. But Dorothy had been loyal to her Aunt Em and Uncle Henry, who had cared for her since she was a baby, and she had refused to leave them because she knew they would be lonely without her. However, Dorothy now realized that things were going to be different with her uncle and her aunt from this time forward. She decided to ask Ozma to grant her one great favor. A few seconds after she had made the secret signal in her little bedchamber, the Kansas girl was seated in a lovely room in Ozma's palace in the Emerald City of Oz. When the first loving kisses and embraces had been exchanged, the fair ruler inquired,
"What is the matter, dear? I know something unpleasant has happened to you, for your face was very sober when I saw it in my magic picture. And whenever you signal me to transport you to this safe place, where you are always welcome, I know you are in danger or in trouble. This time, Ozma, it isn't I, but it's worse, I guess, for Uncle Henry and Aunt Em are in a big heap of trouble, and there seems no way to get them out of it. Anyhow, not while they live in Kansas." "Tell me about it, Dorothy."
"Why, you see, Uncle Henry is poor, for the farm is not much as farms go. So one day Uncle Henry borrowed some money and wrote a letter saying that if he didn't pay the money back, they could take his farm and pay. Of course, he expected to pay by making money from the farm, but he just couldn't. And so they're going to take the farm, and Uncle Henry and Aunt Em won't have any place to live. They're pretty old to do much hard work, Ozma, and I'll have to work for them unless..."
Ozma has been thoughtful during the story, but now she smiled and pressed her little friend's hand.
"Unless what, dear?"
Dorothy hesitated because her request meant so much to them all.
"Well, I'd like to live here in the land of Oz, where you've often invited me to live. But I can't, unless Uncle Henry and Aunt Em could live here too."
"Of course not." Oh. So in order to get you, little friend, we must invite your uncle and aunt to live in Oz also.
"Oh, will you, Ozma? Oh, will you? Will you bring them here with the magic belt and give them a nice little farm in the Munchkin country, or in Winky country, or some other place?"
"To be sure."
Full of joy at the chance to please her little
Thinking of this very thing, Dorothy dear, and often I have had it in my mind to propose it to you. I am sure your uncle and aunt must be good and worthy people, or you would not love them so much. And for your friends, Princess, there is always room in the land of Oz."
Dorothy was delighted, yet not altogether surprised, for she had clung to the hope that Ozma would be kind enough to grant her request. When indeed, had her powerful and faithful friend refused her anything?
But you must not call me Princess, for after this I shall live in the little farm with Uncle Henry and Aunt Em, and princesses ought not to live on farms."
"Princess Dorothy will not. You're going to live in your own rooms in this palace and be my constant companion.
But Uncle Henry..."
"Oh, he is old and has worked enough in his lifetime. So we must find a place for your uncle and aunt where they will be comfortable and happy and need not work more than they care to. When shall we transport them here, Dorothy?"
"Well, I promised to go and see them again before they were turned out of the farmhouse, so perhaps next Saturday."
"But why wait so long? And why make the journey back to Kansas again? Let us surprise them and bring them back without any warning."
"Oh, I'm not sure that they believe in the land of Oz, though I've told them about it lots of times."
They'll believe it when they see it. And if they are told they are to make a magical journey to our fairyland, it may make them nervous. I think the best way will be to use the magic belt without warning them. And when they have arrived, you can explain to them whatever they do not understand.
Well, perhaps that's best. There isn't much use in their staying at the farm until they're put out, 'cause it's much nicer here.
Then tomorrow morning they shall come here. I will order Jellica Jam, who is the palace housekeeper, to have rooms all prepared for them. And after breakfast we will get the magic belt, and by its aid transport your uncle and aunt to the Emerald City.
Oh, thank you, Ozma.
And now, let us take a walk in the gardens before we dress for dinner. Come, Dorothy dear.